Happiness is a state of mind. It's not a permanent state, however one can make it almost permanent. Happiness can be achieved through means of material gain and self-interest, but will only be temporary, almost like a painkiller. A permanent state of happiness can be attained when one is grateful for all the good that is in life, and one is hopeful that life could be more beautiful. Happiness is born of gratitude and hope. These two states of being are hard to attain, and few people are courageous enough to attain them against all odds. A few people such as Salman. In the past, I have tried to give hope and opportunity to those who need it through means of food. I have done this by leading excursions into the depth of Bandra's red light district, which is stricken by abject poverty. I have tried to enhance the lives of those who have little to live for. To my surprise, I have encountered many revelations of absolute happiness, some of which I still cannot fully understand. Our first customer at Feet to Succeed was a small 10-year-old boy who quickly rolled up to our tables in his wheelchair. He wore a white shirt and had his legs crossed onto his wheelchair. After staring into my eyes for a few seconds, almost judging me to see if my intentions were sincere, he gave a huge grin and started screaming, "Hey! Food's here! Food's here!" To our delight, ever since that day he has attended every Feet to Succeed excursion and brought waves of positive vibes. We started talking and I found out that his name was Salman and he'd been disabled for 10 years. He was born disabled. It struck me that I never saw him wear the same dejected look a few other children who came to us had, or tried to hide. He would always smile and move about as if he was the most satisfied 10-year-old on earth. It almost seemed as if we were all the disabled ones and he was the normal one. After a few visits we started interacting a bit more. We started greeting each other and got to know each other better. Taking any chance I got to break the ice and get personal, I asked him where his family was and why he always came alone. To this he gave a cheeky grin and replied, "My family? These boys here, Tinku, Rayan, Turin and Mustafa, are all my brothers. I live and do musty with them sometimes. Otherwise, I either stay at my aunt's place. Sometimes I have to leave though, as my uncle is an alcoholic and it's not safe for me. When that happens, I live on the street." I asked him about his parents. He said, "I was born disabled, so as soon as my parents had me, they abandoned me. Being disabled makes you useless. I was seen as even worse than being a girl, as my parents couldn't even marry me off. I used to feel a bit bad. Now I just think it was their loss." What I failed to understand was how this small child was able to be so positive and hopeful, despite his medical condition and social status. The child had nothing or nobody to live for. No loved ones and bleak odds. Yet somehow there was this energy in him, as if powered by a motor. He would always smile, and when I asked him if he had any problems in his life, and if he wanted to escape his lonely life, he replied, "Problems? Other than food, nothing. I have so much fun with all my friends, and they always help me. They always push me when I'm in my wheelchair, and I go so fast, almost like a race car." The absence of fear about the future and of poverty shocked me. It made me realize that happiness is different for different people, and that to a disabled 10-year-old it means making the best of one's day and not pondering on the inequities of life. To me, Salman's unexplainable gratitude and tenacious hope is an example of happiness at its finest. Not a happiness fueled by material gain or self-interest, but one of courage and optimism. This revelation has taught me that anyone can be subjected to the immense pleasures of happiness, as long as they are given the chance to have hope and express gratitude. In some ways, by passing on the torch of happiness to Salman through Feet to Succeed, I have given him great hopes for the not-so-bleak future.